Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Shalom Yasharallah, which means peace Israel. I like to start off by giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachach Kodash, Yahweh. Thou be the true and powerful mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah Yahweh or Higher. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai, that's the true and powerful mighty name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yeshua, or Yeshaya. In the Rachach Kodash is the Holy Spirit. According to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue, I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, the great millstone who have learned the truth of the Bible from. Peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect and to you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Much love and respect unto you, brothers. Pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom now more so than ever. May Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yawan, coming back at you with another lesson. Lord willing is edifying to the Lord's elect. Man. Not good old Walmart laying people off now. The one place that people thought they would have been safe. Oh, just get you a job at Walmart. Well, looks like they're now in the laying off game. All right. Came across this article and it says Walmart layoffs leave employees asking which jobs are still safe. And honestly, nobody's job is safe. Okay. They want to collapse this economy so that we can depend on them and ultimately be begging for the MOTB. So thousands of employees across Walmart are trying to understand how the company decides who loses a job after another round. No corporate layoffs left workers questioning which roles remain protected inside America's largest private employer. And like I said, nobody's job is safe. Everybody's jobs is on the line. It's just a matter of time because they are bringing the pressure from above and the pressure from below. Hegelian dialectics, if I remember correctly. Let's look that up real quick. Pressure from above, pressure below. Okay, can't find it. Matter of fact, hold on. I want to see something. I know there's no Bible verse talking about it, but okay. Anywho, back to the article. I couldn't find it. I remember Elder Apostle Gabar will say it a lot. Hegelian dialectics. Pressure from above, pressure from below. Let me try this.
The Hegelian dialectic is a method of philosophical argument that describes how ideas evolve through contradiction and reconciliation. It moves from a thesis, which is an initial idea,
No, it's
to
not
an
what I wanted.
antithesis, which is
Anyway, stop wasting time on that. So, back to the article. Walmart confirmed this week that roughly 1,000 corporate jobs were being cut or relocated as executives organized parts of the company's technology and product divisions. So, it's the corporate job. Okay. The high paying jobs are getting cut. Internal memos first reported by the Wall Street Journal said the company was removing overlapping responsibilities, restructuring reporting lines, and concentrating more operations inside major corporate hubs. Company representatives have publicly stated the cuts are not directly tied to artificial intelligence replacing workers. Yeah, they'll tell you what they want. Matter of fact, I just thought of a precept. 55:21. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords. They gonna tell you what you want to hear, okay? Because they don't want to cause widespread panic. But I'm pretty sure, and it said it's not directly tied. So it's some artificial intelligence replacing workers tied off in there. So anyway, employees discussing the layoffs online have still connected the restructuring to Walmart's growing investment in automation, centralized systems, and AI assisted operations. Much of the concern comes from the type of workers being affected. Corporate technology and office based jobs were often viewed as more stable than retail positions that faced automation pressure years ago. Another precept. I already know. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust. Watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts ever so humble. Yeah, these our enemy shit. Our enemies is ultimately everybody that's not in the truth. But the main enemies, starting with enemy number one, Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, okay, and the rest of these heathen nations, you can't trust these people, especially in people, the higher ups, the CEOs of these businesses, okay, because at the end of the day, they're only doing what brings them more money, okay. So of laying off people who need vacations, time off, raises, then so be it. They're gonna start letting heads roll because AI and robotics will get the task done more quickly than the human, with less complaining, less breaks. Okay, shit, they'll probably they don't get tired, so yeah, they'll be cutting costs. Continuing on, he is like a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. See the enemy at your right hand, and the next thing you know, he'll be trying to get your own place of honor. Put him next to you, and he will overthrow you. Then you will realize the truth of my words and be stung with regret when you remember them. Nobody feels sorry for snake charmers or wild animal tamers who get bitten, and nobody will feel sorry for you if you run around with sinners and get involved in their wrongdoing. An enemy will stay with you for a while, but now when trouble comes, he will speak fine words while he plots how to trap you. He will pretend to share your sorrows, but he will kill you if he gets the chance. If trouble comes your way, you will find him there, find him waiting, ready to trip you up while he pretends to help you. He'll be a different person then, rubbing his hands, nodding his head, and spreading rumors about you. Hey, and that's true, man. Seen it happen countless of times. So, hey, trust your HR, your managers, your supervisors, operation managers. Hey, trust them as far as you can throw them, man. Because, like I said, everybody's job is up in the air. All right, so back into the article. Workers discussing The cuts on Reddit describe growing unease around long term job security inside large corporations carrying out repeated restructuring rounds. One employee wrote that a friend working in Walmart's production division lost her position after years of heavy workloads and long hours. Another complained that store workers continued facing pressure on schedules and staffing while corporate departments undergo repeated reorganizations. Questions surrounding severance, relocation, and future cuts are now spreading through employee discussions as workers try to understand how companies decide which departments lose the staff first. Layoffs. So shit, everybody from the person at the bottom to the top, they don't know what to do, man. Okay, and blame it all on Trump. Ooh, Slovakia. Okay, moving too fast. Let's go here. Isaiah. Let's go back to Isaiah the 19th chapter. Let's start up at the top. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua rideth upon the swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, and city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Right? That's going into a civil war that's going to happen here on the shores of America. Okay, because America is modern day Egypt, but it's going to be a civil war due to food shortages, the economy collapsing, people not working. Okay, people not being able to pay their bills, put groceries on in the house. People are really for to lose it. It's really about to be a crash out season. Continuing on, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and that's what's happening now. That's why those workers are feeling perplexed like that, because the spirit in Egypt is failing. It's not like how it was 10 years ago. Okay, back during 26 before 2019, should I say, when things was some type of normal. Okay, we never going back to those days, man. Okay, this economy, this system, this age that we're living in, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. Okay, so in the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord Yahweh, Lord of hosts. And we, through the spirit, think that that's Trump, that's that cruel Lord and that fierce king. But look at how he's running everything. Okay. And the waters shall fail from the sea, and the rivers shall be wasted and dried up. They shall turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of defense shall be emptied and dried up. The reeds and flags shall wither. The paper reeds by the brook, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brook shall wither, be driven away, and be no more. Yeah, going into the crops. Okay. You got a damn fertilizer shortage. Okay, because of the Strait of Hormuz, even though it talks about them opening it back up and whatever, but they said it's going to take decades before things go back to normal. So yeah, the world is cooked. The fishers also shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, and they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. Moreover, they that work in fine flax, and they that weave network shall be confounded, and they shall be broken in the purposes thereof. All that make sluices and ponds for fish. Surely the princes of Zoan are fools going into the government. I remember Elder Yashawamba broke that down. The counsel of the wise counselors of Pharaoh is become brutish. How say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise, the son of ancient kings? Where are they? Where are they? Where are thy wise men? And let them tell thee now, and let them know what Yahweh, Lord of hosts, have purposed upon Egypt. The princes of Zoran are become fools. The princes of Naph are deceived. They have also seduced Egypt, even they that are the stay of the tribes thereof. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and called and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. As a man staggereth in his vomit, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. In that day, Egypt shall be like unto women. It shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh, Lord of hosts, was shaken over it. Okay? Yeah, and all these people are afraid. I was watching a compilation video Arrows and Indignation 3 put together about the struggle continues. You got people making these TikToks crying, talking about how they can barely make ends meet. This is just the beginning of sorrows. Things ain't even turned up yet, and people are already losing it. So imagine when things get worse. Back to the article. Layoffs inside large corporations usually follow reviews of staffing costs, duplicated responsibilities, performance data, reporting structures, and team executives believe are most important to the future growth plans. Departments handling similar work are often merged together, while management layers can shrink as companies centralize decision making into smaller groups. Employees working remotely or outside major corporate offices can also face greater pressure during restructuring periods as companies continue pushing operations back towards centralized locations. Reports that some Walmart employees were encouraged to relocate to Bentonville, Arkansas, or North Carolina created another layer of anxiety among workers following the announcement. Damn, so they gonna have to up and relocate. And who's to say that they can afford housing wherever they going? Damn. For many employees, relocation requests can feel only slightly different from a layoff. Once housing costs, I just said that, childcare, school, spouses, careers, and existing family commitments become part of the equation. Corporate relocation requests can also place significant pressure on workers who are unable or unwilling to move, even when another position technically remains available inside the company. Employees following the cuts are also questioning what happens to severance packages, benefits, or future internal opportunities when workers refuse relocation requests tied to restructuring. Walmart carried out another round of corporate cuts less than a year ago, when roughly 1,500 positions were eliminated during earlier operational changes. Multiple rounds of layoffs in a relatively short period have left many workers paying closer attention to which departments companies continue investing in and which jobs become easier to consolidate when cost cutting pressure increases. Concern surrounding the layoffs extend well beyond Walmart's headquarters because company executives have repeatedly discussed expanding automation and AI assisted systems throughout wider parts of the business. Chief Executive Doug McMillan previously said AI would eventually affect all 1.6 million Walmart employees in some form, including both corporate and store level work. Store workers and warehouse employees are following the layoffs closely because many retail jobs already operate very differently than they did a decade ago. Self checkout systems, yeah, they don't really got that much need for cashiers no more. They got the self checkout line, okay, where it's heavily surveillance, and they say they do it to reduce theft, which is partially true, but it's mainly for control and surveillance. Okay. Self checkout systems, automated fulfillment centers, AI assisted scheduling software, and inventory management tools have steadily changed staffing needs across modern retail operations. Walmart continues maintaining that the current restructuring is tied to organizational changes rather than direct AI replacement. Yeah, they're gonna keep telling you people that keep the wool over your eyes, but shit, if you were smart, you could see what's going on. Just got to read between the lines. Employees discussing the layoffs online are increasingly focused on whether automation, centralized operations, and workforce reductions are gradually pushing large corporations toward leaner staffing structures with fewer office based roles over time. Workers trying to make sense of the latest cuts are now watching closely for signs which skills companies still value most, which departments face the highest pressure during restructuring, and whether today's corporate layoffs eventually create wider anxieties across the rest of Walmart's workforce. So that squeeze is being put on the people. Let's get a couple more precepts and I'll close out. Let's get Zephaniah 1 and 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord Yahweh, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and the howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. How you inhabitants of Maktesh, for all merchant people are cut down, all that bear silver are cut off. So yeah, all these corporations are getting taken down, man. Okay, how about Shimi Shai is breaking down Egypt just like he did in ancient times, man. The grinding will cease. Not Isaiah. Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Going into your stock market and your economists that watch the economy, okay, they see that, hey, this shit is going to shits. And so they don't got what's the word? No optimism in sight. Okay, because everybody's pessimistic now. Verse 4, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Yeah, this place is America is finished. Stick a fork in it, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I pray and hope that the edification was made. Giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Hakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace, blessing, safety, and salutation to the hopeful elect and to you believers and listeners out there. Shalom.